Acura MDX 2003. So we got to remove the seats. And we have to start by removing these covers, exposing the bolts, and removing them. And I'm going to remove the mat also. Okay. The best way to remove these covers, simply stick a screwdriver on the side and just kind of flip it. Oops, there it goes. And they just come up. Okay. You can see the exposed bolts, which we're going to need to then remove. 14 millimeter. So I removed the seats. One nice thing about this 2003 MDX is the flap. Here, I haven't finished cutting, but take a pair of scissors and start cutting the perforated edges so to expose the plate. I'm gonna have to disconnect that cable. So I squeezed my thumb and just pull up, and that disconnects the cable. Looks kind of dirty in here. These are special pins. You have to squeeze these orange ones. Squeeze, and at the same time pull this. This hose here is disconnected. It's actually very dirty. See that? One of the things I need to do is I need to unscrew this top. And my understanding is it's kind of you might need a special tool from Acura or Honda, so we can use a ratchet and unscrew it. One important thing I noticed with the new fuel pump, this little clamp here did not come with it. So as you can see here, you gotta remove it. So very lightly, just open this up, spread these two, spread them open a little bit, just enough to get it past this little lip here, so you can reuse it, because you're going to need it to clamp on this hose again. So be real gentle and make sure you clean it. This is very important. You need to have a replacement lid. This lid here. When I bought the fuel pump, it comes with one, and or you need a special tool from Honda again. But what I did is, if you take a screwdriver, and I took my rubber mallet here, and I'm pounding one on these notches, and as I pound, it finally started to turn the lid, and so I finally broke it loose. Again, now I'm just simply just continuing the process to loosen it. I'm still pounding away. At least now I know that it's coming loose. I can see a gap here, and I could feel it at the bottom as well. But I'm still hammering because it's just really just very tight. Great, it's loose. Alright, awesome. So I'm gonna just clean the debris around. I just don't want anything falling in the tank once I pull this out. So I pulled up. I feel a little tug of something, and I see the fuel in there. As you pull the fuel filter out, tilt it to the side. There is a wire. Kind of see it coming out. There it is. The fuel filter still has some fuel coming out of it. So I'm kind of trying to get it to drain. Fuel tank, fuel inside, fuel pump. I have the old ring here, or lid, I don't know what you call it. Here's the new one, and here's the new gasket. So here's the gasket. Put it in through the little buoy, then up, and it should fit at the top, all the way to the top here, so I'm being real careful. Very good. Make sure it's tight all the way around. So I'm gonna slowly dip it in again sideways. You can hear that, so you know it works. I'm gonna dip it in sideways, and then just like I took it out, it needs to end up this way. The hose attaches here, and then here, this is where the plug goes. So one of the things I had to do is, as you push down on this, make sure that that gasket goes inside the tank and it doesn't wrinkle out. So it is in. I had to push it down some. It has springs to go in, and now I'm gonna put the ring around it, which should tighten it further down, because I still see or feel a gap right here. The lid is on as tight as I could possibly put it on. I recommend getting the tool for this job, so you don't have to go through all that pain of actually putting it on and making sure that it's as tight as it needs to be. So now I'm going to connect these hoses, and we have the cable. Here's this little clip. There it goes. And this should go in. There it goes. It's now tight. It's connected. So we have that hose on. And I'll actually start the car, make sure there's no leaks or anything like that before I completely seal this. So now I'm gonna just simply plug that in. I'm gonna turn the car on, so I'm gonna turn it, and you should be able to hear the fuel pump. You heard that noise? The fuel gauge looks like it's working. Turns on right away. Sweet sound. So the car is working. Let me try it again real quick. The car was having a difficult time turning on. In the mornings when it was cold, it seemed to be a lot easier to turn on or it would just turn on no problem. But as the car got warm, or during the day, if the car was left out in the heat of the sun, trying to turn it on would also be a problem. Checked the fuel pressure, and it was 10 psi, and then when it turned on, it was at about between 70 and 80 psi. So I knew then that the fuel pump was just about ready to give up. Time to put the plate, screw the plate back in, and we're done. I'm going to inspect again for any fuel leakages before I close the plate. When you put the cap back on, one thing I hadn't noticed initially, there's these little pegs that stick out. Make sure you put them back in. Make sure you don't break it. I think I broke maybe one back here. Just twisted a little bit, and I heard a little snap. Then I realized, oh, it's got these little pegs. We got the screws. Let's put these back. To resecure this flap, since I had to cut it along the perforations, I'm using duct tape, sticking it underneath here. I'm going to do the sides and then put the flap over so it'll stay, it won't flap around.